Friends, I want to thank you for giving us a moment of your valuable time. My name is Billy Calderwood. I'm the lead pastor of Media City Church in Burbank, California. And this is Pastor Armand Davtian, my very good friend, the pastor of Unique Life Church, an Armenian-speaking church here in Burbank. I've had the pleasure of partnering with Armand as he's planted this new church and see the extraordinary things that God is doing, and have had the joy of becoming a friend of his. But right now, we're here to talk to you about a desperate humanitarian crisis that is affecting the lives of hundreds of thousands of people right now as we speak, and that isn't getting that much attention in our world. Pastor Armand, can you share with our audience what's happening in Armenia right now?
Yeah. First of all, I'm so grateful, Pastor Billy, for your leadership, for your heart. This has been again and again approved how big your heart is toward the nations, and wherever the need, you always bring your attention. I just want to, on behalf of Unique Life Church and all Armenians, just say thank you.
Thank you. Love you, brother.
God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah. So on September 27th, Azerbaijan, who is a neighbor country, started full-scale war against Armenia, using heavy artillery against all the border of Artsakh, which is a piece of Armenian historic land. This is not something new for us, because I was only 10 years old when the first conflict with Azeris started. 91 to 95, Armenia lost 30,000 young soldiers. By God's grace, our nation stood strong, and we have been able to protect the land, and that fight for our survival as a nation finished with our win. So we existed, we prospered in the land. But unfortunately, the plan is the same for Turkey and Azerbaijan, who are Muslim countries. As you probably know, 1915, Turkey started Armenian genocide, killing 1.5 million Armenians. They couldn't finish that. But unfortunately, in modern day, they have the same plan. That's why Turkey is supporting Azerbaijan. 80 million plus Azerbaijan, 10 million fighting against 2.5 million Armenians now. This is the 18th day. Hundreds of young soldiers already being killed. There is no single church or family in Armenia that is not impacted by this. It is heartbreaking to see so many fallen soldiers. But it is even more heartbreaking to see how modern world, especially Christian leaders, silent. And I'm thankful for this opportunity to ask you, pastors, you can't be silent. And as I was praying, Pastor Billy, I was thinking about all this. The story of Good Samaritan came to my mind. And I started to dig it, why Jesus told that story. In reality, friends, someone was asking, what should I do to inherit the eternal life? And Jesus said two important things: love your God, love your neighbor. And one who wanted to excuse himself said, but who is my neighbor? I think the problem this day, we speak on so much, we want to find out who the neighbor is. What Jesus said there was a man robbed, stripped down, and just bleeding. Priest came. It's shocking, it says, when the priest saw the man turn his way to the opposite side, the same Levi. But the Samaritan man stood there side by side, started to minister. I think that's what we feel from the many churches and pastors, which is heartbreaking. And I want to make this plea to all the pastors that I know you preached on this topic. I know you believe in these words, but this is something Jesus said you should do. And the men, now these days we have citizenship, we have passport. Back then, to find out who the man is, the cloth was important, the language, but this man was stripped out, had no clothes, couldn't speak. So it was faceless. Nobody knew who the man is. Maybe you don't know who Armenians are. I don't want to make a political case, is this wrong or right? It's not the time. There is a bleeding nation. There are 100,000 families affected this war, bleeding today. The question is, are you going to stand, or you gonna pass by because you are busy with your religious things? That's the case. And our hearts are broken as Armenian churches and people, because we need that help. We want to be strengthened by our brothers and sisters.
Armand, I know you told me a couple of stories this week that showed me how close to home this is hitting.
Yeah.
I know that when you left and came to plant a church in the United States, you have an apartment home
Yeah.
in Armenia. Would you tell me who's living in that home and what's their situation now?
Yeah, because when the Azeris started to bomb Artsakh, I would say 1,000 families moved to safer parts of Armenia. There was a big crisis for a place to live. And I was praying in midnight, Lord, what can I do? I remembered, why should I keep my apartment there if someone needs? So we decided with my wife, we will open up that house for a family to come to live. And now we have a beautiful family of 4, 2 kids, a mom and dad living there. And we are taking care of them. But every single church I know who has a church building in Armenia, they turn the buildings into shelters. And they are taking care of families, and we are in close relationship with those pastors, and this is really big crisis there.
What is the greatest need right now?
I think the greatest thing that we can respond immediately is to raise enough funds to help these thousands of families who left everything in Artsakh, in Karabakh, and moved to Armenia. So church is already doing that, and we do our best to do, but it's beyond our ability, it's much bigger. So I think if we can mobilize our funds and donate on this case, that would be great help, and we will become really the Good Samaritan.
Friends, thank you so much. I want to ask you to do 3 things, Armand and I. The first one is, would you pray? We're given a prayer strategy in the book of Timothy, and it says we're supposed to pray for kings and all who are in authority, that we may live quiet and peaceable lives. Would you appeal to the greatest judge of all, to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, for an end to the hostilities, an end to the bloodshed, an end to the crisis that's creating these refugees, an end to this war? Pray for peace in Armenia and Artsakh. Secondly, would you raise awareness? I know that so many people, with all the other things grabbing headlines in our time, are completely unaware of this crisis. Put something up on social media, mention how you're praying, contact your elected officials, bring this to the attention of powerful people and people that can make a difference. Third, would you give? Armand, you mentioned that all the pastors in Armenia, it's a small country, you all know each other.
Yeah. It's a small country, and we have unions, and we work together. Especially this crisis situation, our nation is united as never. So we work tightly with the pastors and leaders, and I want to ensure you that every dollar that would be donated will go straight to church or churches who are working to solve the problem and help these many people who need us.
Friends, I know Media City Church is going to give a gift. I'm personally going to give a gift. You are welcome to help give a gift that is immediately going to help our brothers and sisters, our friends that are Christians, our friends that have churches filled with refugees sleeping on the floor. Tonight, they're going to help to be able to feed them, to clothe them, to meet immediate needs in this massive humanitarian crisis. And if you look at the web address on your screen, you can give there, Unique Life Church, and you can designate those funds for Armenia, and they're going to go immediately to this network of churches that Pastor Armand is connected to provide humanitarian relief for the present need. Would you continue to pray? Would you continue to raise awareness? Would you continue to give? And we will keep you updated. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless you all.